Hey everybody, welcome to the Midday Moments. It's the Midday Moment, y'all. Welcome. Hugs and kisses to all of the replay people. Hugs and kisses to each of you as we give a minute for live people to join us. So we'll give a minute and prepare ourselves to be lifted right here in the middle of the day. It's an opportunity for you after you've experienced the morning and all of the morning routines that allow you to have a great morning. You now have the opportunity to have a midday routine to support your afternoon. I'm delighted that you get a chance to share in the midday moment whenever you do, whether it's at 12:30 live or during the replay. So hugs and kisses to all of you. All right, we're going to start our inspirational time in a minute. The midday moment is where we expect great things. It's where we expect great things. We don't ignore the questions of the day. We don't ignore our challenges. We just happen to believe that we're full of questions and we're full of answers. We are full of questions and we are full of answers. So I'm expecting great things. Great things. That's right. We got some questions, we got some issues. We are full of questions. Yes, we are. And we are full of answers. I believe that. So I'm expecting great things. I'm expecting great things. Did you know that? We're full of questions. That's why we have these experiences that we're having. Questions in our health. Questions in our relationships, questions in our finances. And in the midst of all of those questions, we are yet full of answers. That's why I expect great things. So I share this with you. I expect great things. We are some powerful beings. Did you know that? We're powerful. We're amazing. We are. Each of us in our own right, in our own way. Hey, Anthony, you better sing. Coming from my singing buddy from the concert chorale at Bethune-Cookman. Yes. In the midst of all of our questions, we've got some answers. Therefore, yeah. I'm expecting great things. I love that part of the song. Yes. All right, y'all. Let's get into our teaching. All right. So I've got a cough drop. So that means I'll probably talk a little funny today. Okay. I got a cough drop in my mouth. Got to take care of myself. So teaching, speaking, and singing, all of that is really interesting on the vocal cord. So got to give it some special attention. And I've not given all the special attention I need sometimes. All right, so welcome to the midday moment. I do the midday moment because I'm inspired to inspire. That's why I do the midday moment. I'm inspired to inspire. Now I'm inspired to inspire because there's a certain way that I approach my life. I approach my life very strategically so that I can overcome on purpose rather than drown in despair, drown in depression, oppression, and all of that. I learned to lift my head. I got to take this cough drop. As much as it helps me, I can't talk fluently with it. All right, there we go. Live on TV, action. Taking out the cough drop. So there's a certain way that I approach my life so that I can overcome on purpose. I learned to lift my heart, lift my vision, lift my thoughts. There's a certain way that I approach life so that I can live on purpose. I don't overcome to then just guess my way through life. I overcome so I can live intentionally, live on purpose. So I overcome on purpose so I can live on purpose. Anthony, don't forget to drop those 60 seconds on us. I overcome on purpose so I can live on purpose. And I approach life strategically so that I can live out my purpose. I believe that each of us, we come into this earthly experience with certain gifts, certain talents, certain sensitivities, certain passions, certain things that bug us, pluck us, motivate us, initiate us, inspire us, get us moving. We all respond to certain things, different things, in different ways. That's because we have a unique purpose in the earth. And so I approach my life so that I can live out my purpose. And when I live out my purpose, I'm a blessing to myself. Yes, I am. I'm a blessing to myself. I fill my cup. Yes, I do. I fill my cup. I co-create with God to fill my cup. I do what is necessary to fill my cup so it runs over. And so I bless myself and you bless yourself and we bless each other. And so for all of those three fundamental reasons, I'm inspired to inspire. Because I approach life to overcome on purpose, to live on purpose, and to live out my purpose. All right. So all this week, we've been talking about this blessing cycle. We've been talking about this blessing cycle, even as we take inspiration from Matthew chapter 13. And so, yes, a huge part of my inspiration comes from scripture. Remember, you can read scripture literally as literature and life application. So during the midday moment, we pull out a lot of life application. So we've been pulling out all sorts of life applications out of Matthew 13. It fits in a larger series that we're doing with my church, today's Church Tampa Bay, located here in St. Petersburg in Tampa Bay, Florida. And a series that we're doing on the teachings of the parables. So we've been looking at these various parables, and this is the first one, the parable of the sower. So you can do a lot with the parable of the sower. So we've given you demonstrations of life application that comes out of the parable of the sower that Jesus is teaching here. And we're going to look at some other parables as well. And so I've talked to you. I spent a week on growing again, encouraging you to sow so you can grow again. I spent a week encouraging you about how to distinguish between the haves and have-nots. And this week I've been looking at the blessing cycle, specifically verse number 8. So Matthew 13:8, that tells you that as you experience this sowing, then there's a reaping. There's a reaping, There's a reaping. There's a reaping of 100-fold, 60-fold, and 30-fold. My goodness, a lot to be said there. I might give you a little bit of that today. And so what I began to share with you as of Monday was when you get to, quote unquote, the end of this cycle, it's not an end because it is a cycle. So you get a chance to experience blessings over and over again. You get a chance to stay in a cycle of blessing, in a cycle of good, in a cycle of prosperity, in a cycle of love, light, strength, hope, and peace. You can stay in that cycle very intentionally. And so I told you on Monday, one of the tips to stay in and embrace a cycle of good and a cycle of blessing is when you reap, make sure you release. So you reap, release. And some of us, we reap and then we hold on. We've been holding on to routines forever. We hold on to fruit. That fruit has spoiled. It's time for you to grow some new fruit. We hold on to processes. We hold on to sometimes relationships and people. We hold on to things. We're afraid to release and let go and grow again. So I encourage you, a part of this cycle is to reap and release. And then I confessed and told you how I really, really heard this in raw form was to drink and pee. That your body itself, your body tells you that blessing is a cycle, that goodness is in cycle. So you take in, you fertilize your body, you take in, you grow, and you give your body nutrition, and then you release and you keep going, you start over, okay? And so that's what I gave you on Monday. Then Tuesday, I encourage you to sow and sow. So that many of us, some of us are different. Some of us, all we do is me. And we never give out. It's just me. We never give out. Others of us, we give out, but we don't give to ourselves. We don't sow to ourselves. And so, yes, it's important that you learn to sow into your family, sow into your community, sow into the people that are around you. That's important. It's important for us to sow into humanity, to sow and contribute together. That is important. It is also important that you sow to you. You sow to you first. Love God, Love your neighbor as yourself. So you can't love the other person, the neighbor, until you love yourself. You can't do over there effectively or holistically in a balanced way what you've not done to yourself. So make sure you're sowing into yourself. Make sure you're honoring yourself with cough drops or whatever it takes for you to be healthy. Make sure you're honoring yourself. Sow into yourself some water, some good food. I'm working on it, y'all. Sow into yourself some mobility, some health. So I've been getting up in the morning. Sometimes I do my stretches. Sometimes I do walking. Lately, I've been doing walking. I've been enjoying the morning here in Florida. Oh my God, it's just beautiful weather. So I've been enjoying that. So sow into you. I also had another awakening with this the other day because I have been working on various projects, did a great job with those projects, but guess what? I didn't take care of some of my own personal projects, my own personal business. Got to sow into you. Take care of your business. That's right. Take care of home. Take care of you. So sow into you. And so I encourage you to sow into you, sow and sow. So sow into you, and you sow into your community, and you sow into your family. Sow into you, though. Make sure you do that. All right. And then yesterday, so we had reap and release, we had sow and sow, and then yesterday we had the CEOs. So making sure that you understand a part of the cycle is that everybody's not going to be with you permanently. Everybody's not a covenant party. Member of your entourage or covenant partner. Some people are CEOs. This is what Bishop Michael Pitts used to call Christmas and Easter only. So every Christmas and Easter, he would welcome the CEOs to church. These are people that come Christmas and Easter only. And you know what? Some people are meant to be a blessing, Christmas and Easter only. I was talking to somebody else yesterday. There are some places that you occupy, some places that are that you've experienced. It's just for special occasion. It was for Christmas and Easter only. And the more aware you are of how people cycle in for special occasions and then you let them cycle out, that's going to help you stay in your cycle of good, stay in your cycle of blessing. And so you let them be a blessing. And then you release. And likewise, you can cycle in somebody's life to be a blessing. And then you back out. Okay? All right. So I gave you that little bit on yesterday. Now, today, all of that comes together to help you. When you practice these tips within this cycle, when you practice these tips, let me tell you, it helps you to do this. It helps you to have life abundantly and not just life. It helps you to have life abundantly and not just life. I don't desire, years ago when I was experiencing acute sciatica and I had to always go around with the cane. I had to have a cane close by. I kept a cane in my car. Sometimes I was at work and they'd have to wheel me to my car in a wheelchair. Or I'd be in the emergency room just laid out, waiting for a cortisone shot. Now, this is me. You get to decide for you, okay? This is me. I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about you. There's no condemnation here. I'm simply empowering you for whatever it is you wish to experience in your life. And so for me, I wished for better health. I did not. I'm 48. I'll be 49 next year. And I know I look good. Say it. I know. Thank you. So y'all should see my grandmother. My grandmother's going to be 90 next week. I'm going to make some attempts to go and see her. She's going to be 90. She looks so good, y'all. Okay, so anyways, I did not desire to live, going into my 50s. I didn't want to be 55 and I could not use my legs and I couldn't walk. I felt like that just would not accommodate. That was not going to accommodate my purpose. I felt like for my purpose in the earth, I'm ordained to have mobility. I'm not saying that for you. Someone say, well, she's being mean. What about other people? I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about me. You talk about you. I'm talking about me. Okay? For what I desire to do and what I feel like I'm ordained to do. I desire to have a different health experience. So I had to learn to take care of myself so that I could have the experience of abundant life that I preferred. Not what you prefer, what I prefer. Okay, it seemed like I could hear, I can hear these judgments and so forth. So I'm not judging anybody in their health experience. We all have a different journey. So whatever your health experience is, okay, I'm not judging you no more than I accept judgment for something that's different in my body. All right. I keep saying I'm never going to mention this publicly, and I'm about to do it again. I have a meta break on my foot. I have a meta break on my foot, which means one of my toes never grew out completely. You can Google and see what it's like. I'm not going to show it. People that's around me, they see it, whatever. So no more than I judge my foot am I judging somebody else in a wheelchair. Okay, are you hearing me? No more than I'm judging my foot, I'm not judging somebody else in a wheelchair. So regardless of what my foot looks like, I did not desire to live the rest of my life experiencing sciatica. For me, that was not abundant life. So I desire to have abundant life and not just life. And so all these different tips that I'm explaining this week, they help you to embrace a cycle of good that helps you to have abundant life, a cycle of blessing to help you have abundant life. So you don't just sow one time. Put my glasses on so I can see my clock and get out of it. Ooh, it's about time for you to end. Ooh, I'm right at it. Right? So all of these tips help you to have abundant life. So you don't just sow one time, but you live a life of sowing. You live a life of reaping. You live a life of growing. You live a life of releasing and letting go. You live like that. I live like that. I live like that. Sowing, growing, releasing, letting go, starting over, growing again. I live like that. And it shows up in my health. It shows up in my relationships, the harmony of my relationships. It shows up. It shows up in my money. Remember the Florida Mass Choir had a song? He'll show up in you. He'll show up. It was a Jesus is the light that shineth in me, that shineth in me. He'll show up in me. Y'all remember that song? Okay, anyways, it's from the Florida Mass Choir. What shows up in me is health, harmony, and wealth. And I keep building it. I keep building my health. I keep building the harmony of my relationships. And I keep building my wealth. How? In this blessing cycle. So I live a life of sowing. I live a life of growing. I live a life of reaping and letting go. I live a life of sowing in me and sowing in others. I live that way. Yep. I live a life. I let people cycle in, they're supposed to cycle in, and I let them cycle out. I live a life of honoring my covenant partners, those that are with me for all of my sowings or most of my sowings. Yeah.
Powering off.
So I'm giving you those tips to help you. All right. It's time for me to go, y'all. I got to get out of here. I got some other work to do. It's in the middle of the day. It's just a midday moment. I do the midday moment because I'm inspired to inspire. So I'm inspired because I live my life strategically. So I can overcome on purpose, live on purpose, and live out my purpose. And so I share these strategic approaches with you. All right, y'all, we're in the midst of our campaign. We've been riding 5 shares kind of steadily. And so we're growing into 10 shares. We're going into 10 shares every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's what we're doing. We're growing into 10 shares. Why? Because there's enough love, there's enough inspiration to be shared. And that's why Anthony shares with us his 60 seconds. So I always get a chance right after to go and listen to the 60 seconds there. And I invite you to do the same. There's enough love. There's enough inspiration to go around. Share the love. What the world needs now is love, more love. It's the only way. So share. So I invite you to share and subscribe to the YouTube page so we can share some more. Dr. Davina Jones. That's the YouTube page, Dr. Davina Jones. All right. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay. God bless you and God be you. Mwah. Hugs and kisses. Bye.